Story 1. In the small, picturesque village of Veritas nestled between rolling hills and lush forests, lived a wise old man named Elias. His presence was a calming force, and his wisdom was renowned far and wide. Elias was a man of few words, yet his silence spoke volumes. The villagers often marveled at how he managed to convey so much with so little. One day, a young man named Jasper arrived in Veritas. Jasper was a wanderer, seeking knowledge and adventure, eager to learn from the world. He had heard of Elias's wisdom and was determined to meet him. Upon his arrival, Jasper found Elias sitting under an ancient oak tree, surrounded by villagers who were listening intently to his rare but profound words. Jasper approached Elias, his heart pounding with anticipation. "Elias," he began, "I have traveled far and wide in search of knowledge. I have heard of your wisdom and wish to learn from you. Please, share your secrets with me." Elias looked at Jasper with kind, piercing eyes. "Sit, young one," he said, gesturing to the ground beside him. Jasper complied, feeling a mix of excitement and nervousness. For several days, Jasper sat with Elias, observing and listening. He watched how Elias interacted with the villagers, how he offered guidance with just a few words, and how his silence often carried more weight than any speech. Jasper, on the other hand, was full of questions and eager to share his own thoughts, often interrupting the serene atmosphere with his chatter. One evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon, painting the sky in hues of orange and pink, Elias turned to Jasper. "Do you notice, young one, how the sky speaks without words? How the birds sing their evening song without a single conversation? There is much to learn from silence and observation." Jasper frowned, unsure of what Elias was trying to convey. "But how can I learn if I don't ask questions? How can I gain knowledge if I don't speak and share my thoughts?" Elias smiled gently. "The more you know, the less you need to say," he replied. "True wisdom lies not in the abundance of words, but in the depth of understanding." Jasper pondered this, but his youthful impatience made it difficult for him to grasp the concept. He continued to bombard Elias with questions, seeking immediate answers. Elias, however, responded less and less, his serene silence becoming a lesson in itself. One day, a crisis struck the village. A severe drought threatened their crops, and the villagers were in a state of panic. They gathered around Elias, seeking his guidance. Instead of offering a detailed plan, Elias spoke briefly. "Conserve water, tend to the soil, and trust the land to heal." The villagers, familiar with Elias's ways, understood the gravity of his concise advice. They implemented his suggestions with faith and diligence. Jasper, witnessing this, was bewildered. He approached a farmer and asked, "Why do you trust Elias's words without questioning him further?" The farmer smiled. "Elias speaks only when necessary. His few words carry the weight of years of wisdom and experience. We have learned to listen not just to his words, but to the silence that accompanies them." Jasper was struck by this revelation. He began to observe more and speak less. He watched how the villagers communicated with subtle gestures and shared looks, how they worked in harmony, understanding each other without the need for excessive dialogue. Gradually, Jasper started to appreciate the power of silence and the depth of unspoken knowledge. As weeks turned into months, Jasper found himself transformed. He no longer felt the need to fill every silence with words. He began to understand the world around him in ways he had never imagined. He realized that true wisdom came from listening, observing, and understanding the essence of things, rather than merely accumulating information. One day, as Jasper sat with Elias under the ancient oak tree, he turned to his mentor and said, "I understand now, Elias. The more I know, the less I need to say. Thank you for teaching me the true essence of wisdom." Elias nodded, a proud smile playing on his lips. "You have learned well, Jasper. Remember, knowledge is not in the multitude of words, but in the depth of understanding." Jasper remained in Veritas for many years, becoming a silent observer and a wise counselor to the villagers. He carried forward Elias's legacy, proving that sometimes the most profound truths are those left unspoken, and the deepest wisdom is that which resides in the silence between words. Story 2. In a future where technology had advanced to such an extent that communication had become a thing of the past, silence reigned supreme. The world was now governed by the collective knowledge, a vast database accessible to everyone from birth. It contained all the information, thoughts, and emotions of every individual, rendering spoken language unnecessary. But not everyone was content with this new way of life. In the outskirts of the city, in a secluded community known as the Dissenters, lived a young woman named Nova. She was different from the others in her society. She had a thirst for knowledge that could not be quenched by the collective. Nova spent her days exploring the old ruins outside the city, searching for clues to a past where words held power. One day, while rummaging through the debris of a collapsed building, Nova stumbled upon a relic from the past, a book. It was a rare find in a world where physical books had long been replaced by digital archives. Intrigued, she pored over its pages, deciphering the strange symbols that danced before her eyes. The words spoke to her in a way the collective never could, awakening a hunger for communication that she had never known existed. As she delved deeper into the book, Nova discovered the lost art of storytelling. The more she read, the more she realized that there was a beauty in words that went beyond mere information. Stories held emotions, connections, and meaning that transcended the cold facts stored in the collective. And so, Nova began to share her newfound knowledge with the other dissenters, igniting a spark of rebellion against the silent oppression that had gripped their world. The authorities soon caught wind of Nova's activities and sent enforcers to suppress the rebellion. But Nova was prepared. Armed with the power of words, she weaved tales of freedom, love, and hope that resonated with the hearts of her people. Through her stories, she united the dissenters in a common cause, giving them a voice in a world that had forgotten the power of speech. As the enforcers closed in on their hideout, Nova stood before them, defiant and unafraid. In a voice that rang with clarity and purpose, she spoke the words that would change their world forever. "The more you know, the less you need to say," she proclaimed. "But the less you say, the more you lose of yourself." Her words struck a chord deep within the enforcers, awakening a long-forgotten longing for connection and understanding. One by one, they laid down their weapons and joined the dissenters in their fight against the tyranny of silence. In the end, Nova's rebellion succeeded, not through force, but through the power of words. As the world slowly began to embrace spoken language once more, a new era of communication dawned, one where knowledge and understanding were shared not just through data, but through the heartfelt stories that bound humanity together. And Nova, the young woman who had dared to defy the silence, became a legend, remembered for generations as the storyteller who had shown the world that sometimes the most powerful message is not in what you know, but in what you choose to say. Story 3. In a small town nestled between rolling hills and lush forests, there lived a man named Oliver. Oliver was known throughout the community as a wise and thoughtful individual, always ready with a kind word or a listening ear for anyone in need. Despite his quiet demeanor, Oliver had a wealth of knowledge and experience that he shared generously with those around him. Oliver had a reclusive nature, preferring the company of books and nature to that of bustling crowds and idle chatter. He spent his days wandering through the woods, observing the intricate dance of life unfolding around him. He would sit by the river for hours, watching the water flow steadily past, lost in contemplation of the mysteries of the universe. Over the years, Oliver had amassed a vast store of knowledge on a wide range of subjects. He was well versed in philosophy, science, literature, and art, with a deep understanding of the interconnectedness of all things. His insight and wisdom were sought after by many, and he was often called upon to offer guidance and advice to those facing difficult decisions or personal challenges. Despite his vast knowledge, Oliver was a man of few words. He believed that actions spoke louder than words, and that true wisdom lay not in the eloquence of speech, but in the depth of understanding and compassion one held in their heart. He lived by the motto, "The more you know, the less you need to say," and embodied this principle in everything he did. One day, a young woman named Eliza came to Oliver seeking his help. She was troubled and confused, unsure of which path to take in her life. Oliver welcomed her into his humble abode, offering her a cup of tea and a sympathetic ear. As Eliza poured out her heart to him, Oliver listened attentively, his wise eyes reflecting the depth of his understanding. After listening to Eliza's story, Oliver spoke just a few simple words. "The answers you seek lie within you, my dear. Trust your intuition and follow your heart. The more you know about yourself, the less you will need to rely on others for guidance." Eliza was struck by the simplicity and truth of Oliver's words, realizing that she held the key to her own happiness and fulfillment. Inspired by her conversation with Oliver, Eliza spent the following weeks delving deep into her own thoughts and emotions. She explored her passions, confronted her fears, and embarked on a journey of self-discovery. With each passing day, she grew more confident in her own abilities and intuition, learning to trust herself and her own inner wisdom. As time went on, Eliza's life began to change in profound ways. She pursued her dreams with passion and determination, no longer swayed by the opinions of others or the pressures of society. She found joy and fulfillment in following her own path, knowing that she possessed the knowledge and strength to overcome any obstacle that came her way. Oliver watched with quiet pride as Eliza blossomed into the beautiful, confident woman she was always meant to be. He knew that he had played a small part in her transformation, but he also knew that the real credit belonged to Eliza herself. She had taken his words to heart and had used them to unlock the potential that had always resided within her. In the end, Oliver's quiet wisdom had made a profound impact on Eliza's life. Through his example, she had learned that true strength and wisdom come not from the words we speak, but from the knowledge we hold in our hearts. The more we know about ourselves and the world around us, the less we need to say, for our actions will speak louder than any words ever could. And in this simple truth, Oliver and Eliza found a bond that transcended mere words, connecting them in a shared understanding of the power of knowledge and self-discovery. Understanding of this saying? In an age of constant communication and information overload, the adage, "the more you know, the less you need to say," resonates with profound wisdom. This principle suggests that true knowledge and understanding lead to a simplicity and clarity in expression. It emphasizes that wisdom is not about the quantity of words, but the quality of thought. We explore the essence of this saying, examining its relevance in various contexts such as personal relationships, professional environments, and self-reflection. Personal relationships. In personal relationships, the ability to communicate effectively is crucial. However, effective communication does not necessarily mean saying a lot. Often, those who are truly wise and deeply understand their loved ones find that they need fewer words to convey their thoughts and feelings. A look, a touch, or a brief phrase can carry immense meaning. This is because they have cultivated a deep empathy and connection, understanding the unspoken nuances of their relationships. For example, consider an elderly couple who have been together for decades. They often communicate volumes with a simple glance or a gentle squeeze of the hand. Their shared experiences and mutual understanding mean that they do not need to explain everything in detail. In contrast, newer relationships may require more verbal communication as the individuals are still learning about each other. As understanding deepens, the need for extensive verbalization diminishes, and silence often becomes more meaningful. Professional environments. In professional settings, the principle of the more you know, the less you need to say can be a mark of true expertise. Experts in a field often exhibit a remarkable ability to explain complex concepts in simple, concise terms. This clarity comes from a deep understanding of their subject matter, allowing them to distill information to its essence and communicate it effectively. Consider the difference between a novice and a seasoned professional giving a presentation. The novice might feel the need to include every detail and speak at length to prove their knowledge. Meanwhile, the expert, confident in their understanding, can deliver the key points succinctly, knowing that simplicity often enhances comprehension and retention. This ability to be concise is a hallmark of true mastery and is highly valued in professional communication. Self-reflection. On a personal level, the concept extends to self-reflection and inner peace. Those who have attained a deep understanding of themselves and the world around them often find solace in silence. They do not feel the need to constantly express their thoughts and opinions because they are comfortable with their inner knowledge and perspective. Philosophers and spiritual leaders throughout history have emphasized the importance of inner silence and contemplation. The practice of mindfulness, for instance, encourages individuals to observe their thoughts without constantly verbalizing them. This quiet observation can lead to profound insights and a deeper understanding of oneself and the world. In this state of inner clarity, the need for excessive speech diminishes, and one learns to appreciate the power of silence. The digital age. In the digital age, where social media platforms encourage constant sharing and commentary, the principle of the more you know, the less you need to say is particularly relevant. The abundance of opinions and information can be overwhelming, often leading to superficial understanding and miscommunication. Those who truly understand the complexities of a topic are often more measured in their responses, recognizing that not every thought needs to be expressed publicly. This restraint can be seen in the behavior of respected thought leaders and experts who choose their words carefully and speak only when they have something meaningful to contribute. Their silence is not a lack of engagement, but a testament to their deep understanding and respect for the power of words. In contrast, the constant chatter from those with less understanding can dilute important discussions and lead to noise rather than meaningful dialogue. Conclusion. The adage, the more you know, the less you need to say, highlights the value of deep understanding and thoughtful communication. Whether in personal relationships, professional environments, or personal reflection, true wisdom often manifests in simplicity and brevity. In a world where words are abundant and often used carelessly, the ability to convey profound meaning with few words is a mark of true knowledge and understanding. As we navigate the complexities of modern life, embracing this principle can lead to more meaningful interactions and a deeper appreciation for the power of silence.